Alright, hello 7th grade. So today we're looking at the percent proportion, which unsurprisingly is a proportion with some percents in it. It's nice when things are exactly what they sound like. And the percent proportion is a way to find a missing part of this if we have the other part. So if we're missing one of these things, we can use the percent proportion to find it. And in general, if you're trying to figure out which part's your percent, conveniently it's the thing that has a percent sign next to it. If you're trying to figure out which part is your part and which part is your whole, in general, your part is the thing that has an is by it. And your whole is the thing that has an of by it. For example, if we had 10 is 25% of 40, which I think we can all agree is true, because 25% is 1/4, 10 is 1/4 of 40. Okay, no big news there. So the 10 is our part, because it's our thing that's by our is. And we've got 25%, that's our percent. And then of 40, of means that one's our whole. So then if we want to fill this into our percent proportion, we've got our part, which was 10. We've got our whole, which is 40. We've got our percent, which is 25. And this number is always going to be 100. And the reason that's 100 is because that's our percent. That word cent there meaning 100. So percents are per 100. So this number on the bottom of your percent is always going to be 100. Okay. Now, all of these were numbers in the first place, so there's nothing to find. This is just an example of, hey, this is true. Because both of these would reduce down to 1/4. Because here you just divide by 10, lop off the zeros. 25 over 100, 25 goes into both of those. 25 goes in here once, 25 goes in here 4 times, because 4 quarters make $1. Okay, so that's true. Check. What this is useful for is we can use it to find one of those things if we're missing them. So here there wasn't anything missing. Here we're going to be missing something. So this time we're looking for what is 40% of 180. So this time we're looking for something. And the one that by your percent is always going to be your percent. So if it's got a percent sign, that one's a freebie, and that's your percent. Of 180 makes this one your whole, which means the thing that we're looking for is our part. So we're going to fill those into our percent proportion. So we got our part, which is the thing we're looking for, so we're going to call that a variable. And whatever variable you like, but I'm going to go with P for part. Over your whole, which is 180, equals your percent, which is 40, over, and this number is always 100. This looks familiar. We can butterfly this thing. So we're going to draw a little butterfly. So we're going to have that 100 times P equals 40 times 180. Okay, well 40 times 180 is just a number. So we got 40 times 180, which gives you 7,200. And if that's 100 times P, we're going to divide by that 100. Now, if you happen to remember that dividing by 100 is just the same as knocking off these two zeros, that's fine. And that'll give you 72. Otherwise, if you plug that into your calculator, that'll also give you 72. So there's our part. So that's the thing we were looking for. So that's the what in the what is 40% of 180. Well, 72 is 40% of 180. Okay, let's try that one. Okay, we got 18 is what percent of 48? So this time we got 18 is what percent of 48. So we're also going to be splitting this up into three different things. So you got your part, your percent, and your whole. And this time we're looking for our percent. Because we got percent there. That one's a good boy. And then of 48 makes this your whole, which means this one's our part. So is your part, of is your whole. Or whole. Cool. Now we're going to put it in our fractions. So you got your part over your whole, and this time we have both of them. And we're looking for our percent. And again, whatever variable you like, I'm going to call it P for percent. And then that goes over 100. So that number on the bottom again is always going to be 100. Okay, now we're going to butterfly that. So we got 48 times P is going to equal 18 times 100. And again, probably don't need your calculator for that part. If you're multiplying something by 100, you're just slapping 2 zeros on the end. So you got 1800. And then if we want to get rid of this 48, we're going to divide by 48. Now you might want your calculator. So 1800 divided by 48 gives you 37.5. Yeah, I didn't know that one off the top of my head either. 37.5. So that's 37.5% because we were looking for a percent. So if you're looking for a percent, you're going to end up with a percent. Makes sense. Okay, let's do another one. Let's say we got 15 is what 30% of what number? So we got 15 is 30% of what number? So is means this is our part. 30% means this is our percent. Of what number means this time we're looking for our whole. So we're going to set up our fractions. So you got your part, which is 50, over your whole, which this time is the thing we're looking for. So this time our variable is going on the bottom. And I would call it W for whole. Again, if you want to use X, that's fine. Whatever variable you like. And then we got 30 over 100. Now, if here you happen to realize that 15 is half of 30 and go, oh, well, this is just going to be half of that, cool. If not, we're going to butterfly that. So we got W times 30 equals 15 times 100. And again, multiplying by 100 is the same thing as sticking 2 zeros on the end. And then we're going to get rid of multiplying by 30 by dividing by 30. And then 1500 divided by 30 should give you 50. Yep. And again, if you happen to realize that back here, just because this fraction is half of this fraction, that's fine. If you didn't and you went through and you butterflied it, that's also fine. You end up with the same thing. Okay, let's try 2 more of these. Okay, so now what percent of 20 is 45? So the order got flip-flopped around a little bit this time, but we're still doing the same thing. So we're still splitting this up into 3 parts. So yeah, what percent of 20 is 45? Yeah, so watch out for, even though this is by both of them, we're still going in order. So you got something percent of this is that. So the is goes with this one, even though it's kind of next to both of them. Okay, so we're looking for our percent of 20 makes this your whole, is 45 makes this one your part. So it's over here this time. But we're still doing the same thing. So we're going to set up some fractions. You get your part over your whole. This time our whole's the smaller one. Interesting. Equals our percent. So the thing we're looking for over 100. So if your part is bigger than your whole, what kind of percent are we going to end up with? Hope you said bigger than 100. Okay, so we're going to take that and we're going to butterfly that. So we got 20 times p equals 45 times 100, which is 4,500, because again, we're just sticking 2 zeros at the end. So anytime you're multiplying by 100, you're just sticking 2 zeros there. And we're dividing by 20. Which gives you 225. So sure enough, if our part is bigger than our whole, we're going to get something bigger than 100%. This time quite a bit bigger, because 45 is more than double 20. So if your part ends up bigger than your whole, you're going to get something bigger than 100%. So just a heads up that sometimes happens. You didn't do anything wrong. That happens when your part's bigger than your whole. All right. Last one. We got 90 is 12% of what number? So we got 90 is 12% of what number? So we got our percent. 90 is makes this our part. And then of what number means we're looking for our whole this time. And if 90 is just 12% of it, what kind of a number is this going to be? If 12% of it is already something pretty big. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty big number if only 12% of it is already 90. Okay, so we got 90, that's our part. Over your whole, which we're looking for, I'm going to call it W. Again, feel free to use whatever variable you like for any of these. Equals our percent over 100. Okay, we're going to draw a little butterfly. Or a big butterfly. I'll make it a big butterfly this time. Big butterfly. Lopsided butterfly. Okay, so we got 12 times W equals 90 times 100 times 100. And just watch out for if you're doing the adding zeros thing. This one already has a zero. So you've got this zero that goes to the 90, and then 2 more zeros because we're taking it times 100. And then we're dividing by 12. And 9,000 divided by 12 gives you 750, which sure enough is a pretty big number. But again, that's what we were expecting because 90 was already only 12% of it. So it's going to be something quite a bit bigger than 90. So 750, yeah, we're in the right ballpark. All right. And that's pretty much that for the percent proportion. Numbers are in the description below. They're also up on Google Classroom. This is going to be due on Monday. If we're back in school on Monday, feel free to hang on to this and just give it to me then. If we're not back in school on Monday, then I'm going to ask you to take a picture of it, either with your phone or your Chromebook, and either upload that to Google Classroom or email it to me. Either one of those things is fine. And I will hopefully see you Monday.